First, I'd like to welcome some of the elected officials here. We have Olga Negron from Bethel City Council. We have Mayor Ed Pawlowski, House Representative Mike Schlossberg, C.C. Gerlach from the Allentown School Board. And I think that's the electeds that we have here, as far as I can tell. Well, as usual, organizations that work for gun violence prevention, a lot of times we meet after just horrible events that occurred. So on June 12th, we set a record in America, the largest mass shooting in America's history, with 53 of our LGBT brothers and sisters murdered and another 49 injured. Or did I get that backwards? I think I got that backwards. An absolutely horrific incident. And that's not the real problem, though, with gun violence. Yes, that gets the media attention, but every day, every single day on average, we lose 92 Americans to gun violence. That's suicides. Suicides represent about 60% of that. Homicides and accidental shootings. Those are some of the most horrific because somebody didn't take the time to lock their gun living in a home with children. And a 4-year-old shoots his 3-year-old sister. It's absolutely horrific. You know, what we've seen is time after time that these incidents occur and nothing happens. Well, right now, it appears that maybe something is happening, or at least certain members of Congress are sure trying to make it happen. So we had a historic 15-hour filibuster in the Senate, led by Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Yeah, let's hear it for Chris Murphy. But of course, none of the measures that they were able to at least have a cloture vote on, that's a filibuster vote, you have to get 60, none of them passed. And the bill that has the greatest chance of passing, the Collins bill, it's a real compromise to stop selling guns to terrorists. McConnell won't let that come up for a vote. It survived a tabling motion. It's alive, but our cowardly leaders in Congress won't let it come up for a vote. And then we had a historic sit-in on the floors of Congress, led by civil rights hero John Lewis. Now, Speaker Paul Ryan declared that sit-in was nothing more than a publicity stunt. This was led by the man who walked across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, I think it was 1964, and was assaulted by Alabama police officers. He had his head cracked open with a baton, and he said, "I thought my life was going to come to an end at that moment." Speaker Ryan says this man is leading a publicity stunt. Well, let's set the record straight. What's going on is monumental cowardice on the part of Speaker Ryan, who won't allow votes for background checks or for closing the Terror Act to come up for a vote. It's outrageous, and we need to do something about it. When I was a kid, when I was a little boy, I remember John F. Kennedy. He wrote a book that made a huge impression on me. I didn't read that before he was murdered with a rifle. But John F. Kennedy wrote a book called Profiles of Courage, in which he outlined the courageous action of 8 senators through our history in America. Courageous political courage. Okay? And what I have to say to Speaker Ryan is maybe taking a page from the book of Roy Benson in the 1988 political campaign. He was speaking to Dan Quayle. This is a little bit of a different take on that. But when I was a boy, I listened to Jack Kennedy. I heard the words of Jack Kennedy. And speaking Speaker Ryan, you are no Jack Kennedy. We need courage from our elected officials to do something about this problem, to pass background checks for all firearms sales, and to prevent terrorists. Can you believe that? We can't even prevent terrorists from legally being sold guns. We need to do something about that. Okay, my main job is to be the master of ceremonies for this.